Today we discuss the law on the Domus Demetrius. Why did the church suddenly start hiding bodies from heretics there? What saints aid their cause? Welcome back to the trenches, and shall we begin? Until the latter years of the 16th century, the corpses of the fallen were mostly left unclaimed on the blood-soaked soil where they fell. But this changed when it became evident that the heretic legions were expending great effort to claim the bodies of those sworn to the church. The Synod of Strategic Prophecy concluded they were being transported to hell for purposes too hideous to contemplate. For one example, Goetic magic itself, the pain and suffering, can be used to power the members of the court. That's one reason they will have been taken. Humans can be worked in hell, made to build some of the industry over there, and that suffering is like a sweet nectar to those in the court. And thus the Council of Saints were petitioned to send one of the legendary paladins into hell itself to discover what unholy perversions were afoot. It is said that Paladin Gerin fought his way down through the inferno to the very gates of Dis before returning to the Castle St. Angelo to report his findings. I believe this is the first time he has been named going on a mission. We have the names of three other paladins. We have Anseus, who helped close the Hellmouth in Ira, and Engelier, who fought but died facing a hegemon of the Black Grail. So this is slowly being built out, and I'm enjoying the slow burn on the reveals. What this paladin said was never recorded, but soon after the Demetrian Order of Reclamation was instituted to recover as many bodies as possible from the front lines. These bodies were transported along what became known as corpse rails, thanks to the viscous trails of bodily fluids that indicated the passing of such deathly rolling stock. Given the ferocity of the fighting, the smaller depots were soon overwhelmed, and a far larger structure was constructed in 1809 to house and process the dead, the Domus Demetrius, known colloquially as the Body Barn. It is a vast, grimly industrial structure constructed over the ruins of an ancient fortress of the Templar Knights in the Amanus Mountains, which in turn had been built upon a Byzantine fortress that had been raised by the great Seljuk Empire prior to the opening of the Jerusalem Hellgate. I like those layers of history there. It matches our own world, where often a former building, when taken over, is then used by a different faith and changed to suit it. The Domus Demetrius is a sprawling complex of colossal iron-framed structures filled with corpse cranes, row upon row of soaring embalming silos, and vast storage bays of coffins and body bags. When the bodies of the fallen arrive, they enter via the great exonarthex. In our world, this is a covered walkway you must pass through before a church's inner entrance is revealed, which contains the towering Ciborium Demetrius, a column structure said to contain the earthly remains of Saint Demetrius, one of the many martial saints who watch over fallen soldiers. To us, this saint was a high-ranking member of the Roman army. He was first for the faith, and after his passing he became known as a saint of healing. His relics are held in Greece in Thessaloniki, and one of them, it's reported, in our world, gave off at times a healing oil. A perpetual rain drizzles from the underside of the Ciborium. It may just be powerful disinfection solutions, but with a potent reek of myrrh leads many to believe it is the body of this saint purifying those who pass beneath him in preparation for their onward journey to heaven. Myrrh is a resin, and as we discussed, it is tied to Saint Demetrius because what came out of his relic that was said to be myrrh. I assume this process puts the bodies against or beyond the reach of the court, should I say. Within the structure, the fallen are treated with great reverence by the Demetrian monks, who recite the words of the Corpus Benedictionis to render them unusable by hell. When the bodies complete their purifying journey, they are shipped out to the corpse caves of Crete in rusted hulks that have frequently sunk before reaching their destination. In recent years, as the war against hell has intensified, the resources needed to maintain the Domus have largely been diverted elsewhere, although the corpse rails still run, bringing a never-ending supply of the dead. The ability of the monks to process them has fallen sharply, to the point where the growing mounds of corpses are like unto mountains themselves, the largest of which press against the structure's roof, many hundreds of yards above the blood-slick tiles. Rumours persist that voracious packs of carrion feeders have penetrated the forgotten undercrofts of the ancient ruins upon which the facility was built, turning up into the heart of the Corpse Mountains to slowly devour the fallen from within. And imagine what would happen if someone from the Black Grail got hold of all these bodies. They would have an instant army within the enemy's territory. The Demetrian monks deny this is happening, pointing to the immovable iron doors bearing archaic sigils of the Sultanate that seal the catacombs. What lies beyond these portals is unknown, but none stationed here are in any hurry to find out. So, as we have before, we have the mention of the alliance with the Sultanate. Within the Synod law, we get a similar mention. On the law at the Synod's headquarters, so they say, is a relationship between them on some level. That law states, some chambers, even deeper within the tower's foundations, are guarded by a cadre of watchers, the most elite warriors of the temple, crowned by horns of light. What lies beyond these doors remains a mystery, but some claim to have seen alchemists of the Iron Sultanate passing through, and whispers persist of monstrous wailing echoing from behind their 100-ton vault doors. If there is any truth to these rumours, none can say, but they only add to the awe-inspiring reputation of the Synod's headquarters. So another fun lore drop that gives some great hints of the world. This is the type I like, lots of little details that we can chew on, and fun to speculate and discuss. So let me know what you think to this lore, drop me a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.